Hi, I'm Tiffany Domena, and welcome to the Hot Entrepreneur YouTube channel, where we talk about how to start and grow businesses from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise. So today I have a guest with me, and this is Roope Kiuttu from I'm sorry, can you say your website name?
Youronlinerevenue.com. It's my website. And
Youronlinerevenue.com.
yes, and YouTube channel is Learn to Make Honest Money Online. So there I'm more active nowadays.
Yeah, and I did notice that. And I'm so excited about this interview because Roop is a digital nomad. He travels all over the world and he does a lot of education on how to make money online. And he's grown quite a following doing that. So I know there are a lot of startup entrepreneurs out there who want more freedom to travel and who want to be able to live life more on their own terms. And I think Roop is a perfect example of that. So I'm excited to share this interview with you so that you can just see how he's been able to do it. He says that he didn't start from um, uh, he didn't start with as a celebrity, and he didn't start with lots of money, but he's been able to use the startup money he did have to really turn it into something that I'm proud of, and I think he's proud of it too. So, well, Roop, can you tell us, when did you start your business?
Well, I got started with Wealthy Affiliate. That was the first time when I got started with this online business thing. Before that, I was always thinking you need to go to work in a real job, and I got to see it in my mind. I had listened to some teaching from entrepreneurs that you can build a business and do these kind of things, but I didn't know how to do it. But when I got started in Wealthy Affiliate, they really showed the step-by-step thing, like how to do it. But originally, when I got started there, I didn't go all in immediately. It took some time for me to understand how it works, and because I didn't know anybody in real life who is making money online. So at first I was thinking, is this real? How does everything work? Can it really work for me? So it took some time to get started there. But I think in that sense, the community was also very important because I didn't know it in person, anybody building online businesses or these kind of things. So in the community, I saw a lot of people getting started, even as complete beginners, and going to making a full-time income online. So I started thinking that if they can do it, I can do it. And at some point, I started putting in more effort.
Right. Do you think that, so when you came across Wealthy Affiliate, were you actually what were you looking for? Were you looking for a way to make an extra $100 a month, or what really started it? You had a job already and you were probably taking care of some, can we hear more about your background? Were you living on your own, or were you what were you looking for and what were you doing?
I was actually still a student when I got started.
Okay.
I was studying in the university, and I was just scrolling online, how to make money. I searched how to make money online, but it was still kind of scrolling, not looking for anything serious. But then I saw this website. There was this young man, Nathaniel, his website, and he said that he got started online, and he was living in China, and he earned dollars on the internet, and he lived like a king in China. And I was like, wow, this sounds awesome. And then he had a banner on his website that said click here and I will show you how to make money promoting other people's products on Amazon. So then I clicked there, I got started, and then they said, hey, I can teach you how to make money online. So that's how I got started. And at the beginning, my goal was just to make some extra money. I was studying, and then later I graduated and I started a normal job, 8 to 5. But then I realized that the job, when I was working in that job, it actually took me more than 50 hours every week because it was in a different city. And then other hobbies and other things. So then I realized I have very limited amount of time. So at that point, I realized hey, I want to go all in with this and make a bit on online business. I was living in Austria back then.
Wow. So what were you studying? You were in college, and what were you studying for? And did you graduate? Or like when you were in college, my question is, when you were in college, is that when you started to notice that maybe this won't be that fun for me? Or was it after you graduated college and then you got the job and then you said, maybe this won't be that fun?
I mean,
Maybe this isn't
I've
a good
always
life.
I always enjoyed like the university and what I studied, and then I graduated, and I always enjoyed working wherever I worked. But then I realized like I started listening to these teachers on the internet, like Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, and Les
Yeah.
Brown, and they
Okay.
explained like about entrepreneurship, and then I saw digital nomads. They were traveling the world and making money online, and that's how I got those ideas. Like, hey, I could do something more, and I started
Okay.
comparing the past. Like, what if I go with this 9 to 5 job thing? I also enjoyed that, but then I also compared it like building an online business. So it started looking better. In the university, in the university, I studied social services. So
Okay.
I graduated from that. Also, I have the degree, but I don't need that actually anymore because I do
Right.
online business. But, if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't go to the university. But you are from the US, so it's worth mentioning that in Finland it's for free, because in the US the university costs a lot of money and it's like a big decision. But here I think it's more common just to go because it's free, like taxpayers pay the university.
Yeah, you're talking about the loans, the student loans, and all of that stuff. It really is sad how the education system is here. So you actually had to save up your money to pay for the college?
I mean, it's free here. It's free,
Okay. Oh, okay.
so you don't need to pay anything for that. And actually you
Oh,
get some money from the government, like as a student also, not much, but something small.
oh, wow. So
So
you
it's
could
very good.
go all the way to college for free. Like here, if you want to go to a college, usually it's like, for me, even with my military discount, I pay $750 per credit hour. And
Yeah,
most of them are like double or more than that. And so, um, or so then
yeah, I know.
I might be paying like 1,500 or more per class. And then
uh, wow.
you need like that's and then you have to pay for all of these classes that actually don't add value to your career path. Like
Mm,
I might be taking a literature class or a British history class, and I want to be an internet marketer. Like it doesn't have anything to do with it.
yeah,
Do you,
yeah, I see.
is the education experience similar to that in Finland?
I mean, here in Nordic countries it's very different. I think in all Nordic countries is similar, that you you go for free to your school, and the government or taxpayers pay for the school. So it's quite good. I think it's globally quite unique.
Is the as far as the classes that you take in order to be in a profession, do you have to take a lot of classes that don't necessarily aren't relevant for your career path?
Yeah, it depends what you study. It depends about on that. But like I'm not a big fan of like formal education. So I would say yes. Like because the like let's say you study for 3 years in the university, then when you graduate, you are already forgotten what you studied like in the beginning. So uh, and also a lot of things you don't need in real life. So I
Yeah.
know a lot of people who studied in business school in the university. They graduated with master's degree, but
Hmm.
basically almost all of them say that they didn't learn so much for the like maybe 10% was for the real life, 90% was just theory and what they never need in their life. So
Right. I can agree with that. I think both of us have had uniform, like uh, actual education experience in college and things like that. And then also having found education online. I know you've taken education from Wealthy Affiliate, and then you've taken education from Legendary Marketer. And I'm sure you've taken education from different places in order to really get sharp with your skills. But your like one thing that I really like about university education in comparison to a lot of the online education is um, the you have an instructor, you have accountability.
Mm,
A
yeah,
lot of the online education, you pay an instructor and you don't really have accountability, and you also may not have good customer support. So you can't call somebody and say to your counselor, I'm really struggling with this class, you know?
mm,
Like
yeah,
a lot of them
yeah,
don't have something set up like that. Most like of the online educators at this point want passive income, so they don't want to have to provide that level of support. Have you
yeah.
noticed that?
It requires more from the person himself. Yeah, that's true. But on the other hand, it's also good because then the person needs to learn how to find information and how to be responsible. Because when I got started in with affiliate and started with online business, it was probably the first time when I really realized that if I don't do this, nobody is going to do it for me. Because as you
Right,
mentioned at school or in most jobs, like if you are working in a 9 to 5 job, it's quite easy. Like you go there, and if you don't do something well, then boss will give feedback. But when you're
right,
building your own business, like if you don't do it, then nothing will happen. So, so
right. Or you just don't make money. That's what
yeah,
happens. And
yeah,
and a lot of times like but the problem is just when entrepreneurs are transferring from that background where you have a lot of accountability, you have a boss, you have like even if you're in college and you have an instructor, you have your parents, you have people telling you you better get good grades, you know,
mm,
you have some type of milestone that you know you need to meet, you have grades or you have a performance report or something like that. When you are online or when you are starting a business, period, you don't have that performance report aside from sales. So your
yeah,
performance report is, are you getting enough sales or are you not? If you're not getting enough sales, then you won't be able to pay anything.
that's true.
Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's nobody like it's a lot of self-discipline that you need because you have to you have to be able to say I'm going to wake up and I'm going to work on this content, or I'm going to create this product, or I'm going to deliver this service, or I'm going to provide stellar customer support, or whatever the case is. Like, how did you build that muscle?
yeah. It's funny because now when I think about it, it feels so like easy somehow. But when I really go back in the time, really felt hard, and it
It
was
was
definitely,
hard. Those
yeah,
past
and it was one of the most difficult periods, like I would say, in my life, because as I told you, it was the first time when I realized I really need to take the responsibility. So I think the biggest thing was just between the ears, like, will this work for me? But when I like started getting like early, like some results, then it's then it got easier. But I think the biggest one is like between the ears, like will this work or does it work? That battle, like if there is not that battle, then it gets easier. But yeah, it's really like pushing. But I think nowadays also like getting results, not knowing if it works, but then getting results, it gives some sort of confidence. So now if I start something new, I feel completely different. I know that, okay, if somebody else has done it, I can do it too.
right.
So it really builds the character.
Yeah, I agree. I think like mindset is usually the first thing that like I at Hot Entrepreneur we have the business growth framework, and phase one is really working on mindset and doubt and dealing with fears and all of those things because those become really illuminated in
Yeah,
starting your business. You start to feel
yeah,
like can this actually work for me, am I good enough, and it affects how you price, it affects how much commissions you'd be willing to accept. Like some
yeah,
people won't be willing to accept 3% commission on a $20 product,
yeah,
but a person that doesn't have a lot of confidence might accept it. And so it really, really, really affects things. When I was in freelancing, there were um, requests for proposal, people who put out a request that they want to get a writer for $5 an article. And if I was low in my confidence, I would probably take something like that.
Yeah.
But if my confidence is higher, I would say absolutely not. I am not taking $5 for a full article.
Yeah.
And so it's like that mindset is so important, because
Yeah.
if you have the wrong mindset, then you really won't make a lot for your time.
Yeah,
And
that's true. And
yeah,
yeah, also I've listened to Tony Robbins a lot recently, and he always says, teaches about this mindset and personal development. And some people come to his business courses and they ask like, when do you start teaching about those tactics? And he says like 90 or 80% of the business success is about like this mindset thing,
right.
because it's like if your psychology and if your mindset is not right, then you cannot get the results. Like even though you would know all the tactics, but you don't do it, then it doesn't help. So
Yeah, I've
it's so
noticed
important.
that about you. I think like when I look at you and how you've been able to build your business, and when I look at how the habits that you have that really contributed to that success, I think that probably your habit of being involved with personal development and seeing people with strong work ethics and with strong self responsibility, like Tony Robbins, has probably been very helpful. What do you
Yes,
think?
definitely. Yes, definitely. And I also want to mention, because last year when I started getting more results and better than I expected, then I
Mhm.
became a little bit too comfortable. And I had this time when I was living in Bulgaria, and it was like the somehow the best time, somehow the worst time, because I became so comfortable. And when I read about people, this happens to so many people. Like when they
Yeah,
start getting certain results, then they become too comfortable, and then they start going down. And
right.
to some level it happened to me. Of course, now I got again the drive back, but it's so easy to become comfortable. So, and also when working online, working from home, not having the boss, so it's so easy to go into that. Okay, I will do it later, or I will just enjoy now. But then eventually the results will come. And one interesting thing about online business is that usually results come with a delay. Like Kyle often from Wealthy Affiliate, he says that the work you do now will you will get the results after 3 to 6 months from now. Like it doesn't come immediately; it comes with a
Yeah.
delay usually.
Are you familiar with Darren Hardy? He has a book called The Compound Effect, and
Yeah,
he talks
I have
about
it here.
any habit that you have, whether you're trying to lose weight or whether you're trying to be a better at sales, or whether you're trying to be better with content creation. He talks about like how a habit takes time to build. And also what is the guy that talks about habits all the time? I read his stuff too. But
Yeah,
with Darren Hardy, his compound effect is real, because it doesn't matter if it's a good habit or a bad habit. The first time you smoke a cigarette, it's not going to cause you to be addicted to it right away. And so what happens is it's like the habits sneak up on you. And so you'll
yeah,
think for 6 months, well, it hasn't done anything to me. I don't have cancer now. So
mm,
you just keep going until it's like something that you can't get off of. And
yeah,
the same thing is true for a good habit. And
yeah,
that's what I try to connect when I talk to startup entrepreneurs. Like, it's not that easy to get started, because you
yeah,
have all of these new habits that you have to implement. And then you have to get used to them, and you have to build your
yeah,
skill level and all that stuff in order for it to really work out. For some
mm,
people, they can build a profitable business quicker than others, but usually they come with some of the skills already. Like, they might
yeah,
already be self-disciplined, or like they might have a record of always getting A's in school because they always would be self-disciplined and always studying very hard.
yeah.
So
But
they have
yeah,
some type of
everybody has
skill
a
that they bring.
everybody has a different road, and often like let's say somebody in their family has done business, so that can also help, or
Yes,
many things contribute. And also
right.
many times like the school success doesn't correlate to
It
the
doesn't.
business success,
So yeah,
because it's kind
sometimes
of
it definitely doesn't. Sometimes I
yeah,
think Another thing that I like about the university is that they always have deadlines, so that can help
Mm,
with building discipline. It
yeah.
can. I think for me, my parents are very disciplined, and
Mm,
so that was helpful. And then I joined the military, and of course, the military is very disciplined.
yeah.
So you have to roll your socks, you have to shine your boots. Like I came when I was in the military when we were shining boots. So um, all of that stuff definitely helps with discipline. But I was talking to my son the other day about your lazy self versus your disciplined self and how it's always like an internal battle. And this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
one of the huge things about mindset. It's like the the things that are the best things for you to do to grow your business usually aren't the things that feel the best when you're starting out. Like it
Yeah,
would
that's
just be
true.
so much easier to just sit on the couch, eat popcorn, eat ice cream. Like the good habits don't feel good when you are starting them. They don't feel the rewards feel good, but the actual building the habit doesn't necessarily feel good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's always like something new feels a little bit scary at first, and then over time it becomes like easier. But at the beginning it's always uncomfortable. But I think uh, the rewarding thing is also that at some point it becomes like a second nature.
Yeah,
Like for example, now I have had this habit of publishing one YouTube video every day. I've done it for maybe 90 days already, and now it feels like it just automatically comes like brushing the teeth.
yeah.
So once the habit is built, then it becomes easy. But starting to do it, then that's the hard part.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know for me, that's why I like to start new things with a 90-day challenge.
Mm,
So when I started my website, I started with a 90-day challenge where I was writing a post every day. And um, that I did it really for habit change.
I see.
That was the main goal, is to build this habit. The main goal was not originally quality, even though that was, I definitely wanted to give the best quality. I know somebody can
Mm,
see it, and it would be embarrassing to have a horrible
yeah,
have a horrible article out there. But I had to build the habit. And I did the same thing on YouTube when I first started out on YouTube. I said, this is new. I don't understand the algorithm yet. Like I don't have an audience on YouTube yet. And I'm probably not that good at it. I'm the worst I could ever be at it, because I haven't started yet. So
yeah, yeah,
so I said, I decided to do a 90-day challenge. I think that like you did, like you're doing actively now, that's the way to go.
yeah.
Especially if you want to break into something, that's really the way to go.
Yeah, and
So,
I also say for many people who get started, like have this rule of 100, like publish at least 100 blog posts or 100 YouTube videos, because most people, what happens with most people, also with me when I got started with my first YouTube channel, what happened is that I published 5 videos, then I was like, hey, it didn't get many views, okay, I stopped doing it. So
yeah,
then I didn't publish any new video for, I don't know, maybe 1 or 1.5 years. But then later on, I started publishing again. But then what I should have done is that to keep on publishing, because then
right,
let's say if you publish 100 videos, you get data, you see what is working, what is not working, and then you can improve. But and just by publishing that 100 videos, somebody will beat like 95% of the people, because not other people are not doing it. So
right. And that goes back to what we were talking about habits, and the compound effect is that um, when you, like, say you drink alcohol today and you drink it again next week and you drink another one 3 months down the line, you might say, well, I'm not addicted to it yet, so I can drink it more often and be okay. But if you start drinking it every day for a period of time,
yeah.
then it doesn't matter if you have it in your genes or anything like that. It's going to become a habit.
Yeah, everything. That's true. And when you talk about this compound effect book, it's like often I have been thinking, and mostly people refer to this compound effect when talking about like investing in the stock market that it grows.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's true that also in this book, Darren Hardy's book, and what you mentioned is that the same applies also for business and for
it
habits and
does.
other things. So it's really like the earlier you start, the easier it will be. So
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah,
the
I
way.
learned about it from like a real estate group that I was in. They were doing they wanted everybody to read it. And
Ah,
so we started studying that book, and they were trying to encourage people who are investors who are putting in 50,000 or more into an apartment complex or something like that. They wanted them to really understand that it's going to be a compound effect thing. It's not going to be you put in the
yeah.
50,000 and then you get your money back the same month. Like, so I
Mm,
think that it applies to so many things. If you
yeah.
decide to invest in multifamily real estate, if you decide to invest in single family real estate, if you decide to invest in affiliate websites or
Yeah.
intellectual property in any way or real property, like it applies in everything. You can't expect instant gratification.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And that mindset piece, I mean, you said your first year, right, was you just working on mindset.
Let's say I didn't have the mindset, so I wasn't really. I didn't know what to do. Let's say, yeah. Let's say first 1 2 year. I don't know. It was just trying to find like the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really true.
And so was you said wealthy affiliate and learning online business with affiliate marketing was really your first segue into business, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I had like worked in all kinds of jobs since I was 15. Like I was working like mowing the lawn or in a taxi driver, or I have been a kindergarten teacher, or uh,
Wow.
many different things, or cashier in a grocery store. So many different jobs. But
Wow.
one thing what I didn't like so much about those many of like I studied social services, and then one thing I didn't like it so much was that the people, other employees, usually didn't have this growth mindset. But I always felt like I have this. I want to grow and I want to become better. So
Yes.
so then
That is important.
yeah, then I didn't feel so comfortable there because most of the employees who went to working, they were just okay. We come here to work, we earn the money, then we go home, and that's it. But then on wealthy affiliate, I noticed that people are more like
Ambitious.
growth focused, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. And that's why I say for the community there at Wealthy Affiliate is something that you usually would pay a lot more for is to get around a lot of people who are very ambitious. Um, like Grant Cardone's events, or Tony Robbins events, or Dean Graziosi, all of those type of events usually come with a higher ticket cost, and you can be
yeah,
around people who are very ambitious and business minded and things. There are, like, let's be honest, there are a lot of people at Wealthy Affiliate who are very early in their startup phase, and so they
mm,
might not have all of the business skills and things to get into it. They might not even really understand that they're in a business. They just know that they're there to make extra 100 or 200. So there are a lot of people like that, but there are people who really know what they're doing, and
yeah,
it's nice to have that diversity there.
yeah. And when I got started, I was definitely that person who didn't know like what I'm doing. I just got started.
Yeah.
So
When
I think more than 90% of the people who get started in multi affiliate, they get started as complete beginners. Like
right.
depends, but I would say I would guess that more than 90% they don't have experience of this kind of thing.
Yeah. What do you when did you notice? I know one thing that you really have to shift in business is you have to focus on sales in order
Yeah.
to really make it. When did you really get that awakening that
Mm,
I have to sell a certain amount?
I
Like,
mean, immediately I started like thinking about that, but I didn't get the results immediately. That was the thing, because I had this wrong expectations. at first. Like I thought, okay, I go through this website building phase. I will build a website. I will publish a couple of blog posts, and then I will start making money immediately. And then it didn't work, as
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't work. So you need to build content, and you need to wait that the website matures on Google and all these things. And I didn't understand that. Then what happened is that I started targeting wrong kinds of keywords. Like I didn't target any keywords. So I wrote like 100 blog posts in vain. Basically, nobody read. Maybe some people, but not many people. And then I just started asking, like, what's the problem? I sent questions to Nathaniel and other members in the community. And then they pointed out, hey, you need to be targeting specific keywords. And then that helped a lot. And then what shifted for me is like, before I like, okay, I will try this thing. People always say, okay, I will try. If this works, then I will go away. And I had this trying mentality, like, okay, I will
Yeah.
see if this works. If it doesn't, and then I always
You
had that
weren't
another
committed.
option. Like, yeah, I had other option because I enjoyed working. Like, and I was doing well in that sense. But then what shifted was really when I decided that, okay, I will make this happen. Like I announced to my friends and family members, everybody, okay, I will start traveling in the world. I will make this happen. And that's when I really started putting into effort.
Yeah, that's good. I'm noticing another thing that changed in your mindset too. Like it seems like mindset is really something that changed a lot for you in your journey. And so I'm hoping it's okay for me to ask a lot of questions about mindset. But
Yeah,
you
and
mentioned,
also
okay,
I
go
would
ahead.
maybe I also want to mention like what specific habit was like. I started publishing one blog post per day. That was like also one game changer because uh, then I got consistent with that. So Google likes when you publish one blog post per day, and that was like I decided that okay, every day uh, that is at least my goal. Like no matter what happens, I will every day publish one blog post per day,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't go to sleep before that. And then when I kept that habit, it started getting my website growth, like traffic started growing. So that was one big.
One other thing I noticed about your journey is in the beginning you said you were publishing content and you were wanting money to come back. But at some point, and I don't know if you noticed this shift, but I can tell now that you're much more focused on what the users want. And you've built like maybe, I don't know if you had empathy before, but do you think this journey has helped you to build empathy?
Yes, definitely, because when thinking about like building a business or anything, people often think about, and myself also, like, okay, you need to have an idea, how do you make money? But it's too much like focusing on things what you like. But then the
Right.
focus should be like what other people want and what they are thinking. So
Right.
I think also what has helped my YouTube channel recently to grow faster is that I have been more and more asking questions like what do people want to hear, what do they want to see, and if they are searching for this kind of content, what are they thinking? So entering those questions and really like putting effort, really like thinking what are those people thinking that come here and read this. But of course
That's
I
huge.
still want to
That's
mention that,
huge.
yeah, it's good, but I still want to mention that it's still a process. It's still a process. So
Yeah.
uh,
But
still
I
like
think that's huge. And also, when you are thinking like that, what a lot of people when they start out very selfish. They're thinking, how do I make an extra $1,000? How do I make an extra 1,500? Let me hurry up and publish these blog posts so that so that people the money can just come in, and they don't think that it's people on the other side. And
yeah.
so you really have to do something of service, and you kind of have to have a change of heart where you're not thinking about how to do it for me, but you're thinking about what can I do for them. And
Yeah,
that's
but
a big mindset shift.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I want to mention that when I got started, like one of the biggest reasons was also this, like I want to make a world a better place. Like I studied social services because I want to impact people
Yeah,
and make their
me
lives better.
too.
But then I realized, like, if I do it offline, I can meet maybe 1 or 10 people during the day or 20.
Yeah,
But when I go to the internet, I can influence like millions of people. So
right.
that was really like one of the biggest reasons.
Right. And you said I know at this point your channel is close to 20,000 subscribers and you have over 1 million views. So at some point during your growth of your business, you really had that epiphany that this isn't about me and what I want. This is a service.
No, I
And
mean it was since the beginning also somehow that uh, one of the main reasons was always helping people and making a world a better place. So
mhm,
I wouldn't say that the money was it was not the main focus from the
yeah.
beginning. It was
Mhm.
like uh, one of the main reasons was always like how can I make other people's lives better. But I would say
Okay.
that I've been able to ask those questions better during the way. But it has always been focused like when I got started like in social services. I started because I can help everyday lives of people like somehow positively, and on the
Yeah.
internet I can just do it for more people.
Yeah. For me, like I thought that when I started out my business, in every business that I've started, there's always been more than one. There's been a win for me, a win for them, a win for like you think superficially that you're thinking about winning for everybody, but then like you really have to like for me it's been like how much do I have to give before I get something back, right?
Yeah,
As you're publishing and publishing it, or you're meeting more and more and more people, and it's like how many no's do you have to get, how many times do you have to write something that doesn't work before it really takes off, how many times do you have to do a video that like flops before you actually have one that takes off. So I
yeah,
think when I say selfish, I don't mean like selfish like you just are a taker type of person, or like because I was the same way. But you are thinking like how where is this $500 a month, or 1,000 or 1,500, 10,000, whatever the number is that you want to meet. You are think like we all have that part, and then you constantly have to like strip away those thoughts and just keep going and keep being more and more and more generous, and till it really works.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean,
So I know for me it's been, I mean, it's difficult because you are thinking like that, and then you kind of you usually have different boundaries. When you have a job, then they tell you up front, you have to work this much, and then this day you'll get paid. Like you have
mm,
clear boundaries, but in a
yeah,
business you don't have those clear boundaries. It's like you might be able to make a sale after you tell 10 customers about your product or service, but sometimes it might be 12, and if the economy's bad it might be 50.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you
yeah.
know
Yeah. Mm, I think it's eventually like well yeah it's like let's say somehow balanced, because on the other hand it's just giving, but also like some people they are always just asking questions. They want everything for free. Like let's say somebody just
hmm
asks like 10 questions, and then I'm okay, I can help you more, but maybe you need to pay something because I'm spending all my time answering your questions. And then they got mad like how you said that I need to pay you money for answering questions. I'm
yeah.
like, okay, these are other people. They are paying money for this kind of thing.
And
So
I have to be honest, like what that's one of the problems with the free offer, the starter account at Wealthy Affiliate. When people sign up, they expect so much for free, and they already get so much for free. They get a free website, they get 10 modules of training, they get to be a part of a community of more than 2 million people. They get great, a lot of value, something that I probably would have paid like more than one course at a university for free. And
yeah,
then because they I think it's just a sense of entitlement. Because they have that sense of entitlement, they want the education, and then they don't even go through it, and they'll be asking questions already. How do you put boundaries in situations and client situations like that to prevent you spending a lot of time on people who aren't ready to invest in themselves?
well, like I have specific questions. Like I prepared, like usually people ask more or less the same questions. So I have prepared the questions. So let's say they ask X question, I have the X answer. So I can do it like in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But let's say if somebody isn't serious and he's just asking, then somehow you just notice it sooner or later that okay, now you need to do something. Before I was also answering questions in Facebook or other platforms, but nowadays I say that okay, I only answer questions in YouTube comments and inside Wealthy Affiliate. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't ask there, then uh, I don't answer all. Like nowadays I still get questions on Facebook, but I just ignore them because otherwise I would get so many. So I say people, if you become a premium, then I can provide you support, answer all your questions and these things. But if you are not ready to commit, then like then you can also watch my free videos. That's what I'll also say, because I have like 600 videos on YouTube, so people can watch them for free. So
Right, right. It's so much that you've given already. So I think another thing I think is your demand is definitely going up because I mean
yeah,
you now have a larger audience than when you started out. I'm sure you still have much more room to grow, but
yeah,
your demand is definitely going up. And I think as your demand goes up, you have to cut some more of those
yeah,
things that you were doing. And I'm sure you probably won't be doing YouTube comments or even like what I feel is that I noticed that I'm having to change my boundaries more and more as the demand goes up because there's more people that are serious. So you spend the
yeah,
80% on the serious people, you cut it down to 20% on people who aren't serious. And
yeah,
the freebie seekers aren't, I mean, they just don't show that they're serious. So for me,
yeah.
I'm really stiffening my boundaries a whole lot with freebie seekers. What about you?
Yeah, let's say that I probably could improve on that. But on the other hand, I also it's like I enjoy answering people's questions on
Me too,
YouTube,
I do.
and then when I answer them, I also get to understand their thinking better. So maybe I can provide better content, better videos. So there is that definite benefit. But yes, I'm becoming more strict with that, because before I was also answering emails, but nowadays I don't usually have time to answer emails. Yesterday I actually sent an email to my subscribers that, okay, today I'm taking time, I will answer all your questions. But usually I cannot like I cannot answer all the emails like I did before, because it just doesn't make sense, because there are so many people who are just like they are not going anywhere, they are just asking questions, and like that's it.
Yeah, yeah. And so I agree with you. And the boundaries thing is something I'm sure we could talk about for a long time. But I know that as you're growing your business, what you have to do in order to keep growing is keep shifting those boundaries. And
Yeah,
so that the business can operate more independently and also like putting the right people in place to take care of some of those things because like you said there are some benefits to dealing with some of those people because even in a group of freebie seekers there is somebody that will probably cross over and become
mm,
a person that takes more self responsibility and a person who is really ready to take things seriously. Sometimes they might need more attention in order to get to that place,
mm,
but and if you can put the right people in place, then you can provide that level of support to help them make that shift.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I try to do a
and
balance of both,
yeah,
but
I think it's
in the beginning when you don't have a lot of time it's really hard to like spend the time like that, you know, like you
yeah,
really have to make sure it's 20% or less.
yeah, that's true. But you often see like from their message that what they are like, because often like people who don't take action, their like English grammar is bad, and their messages are short, or they are like very long or something like that. Sometimes if it's very organized, like good English and everything, then they usually are more able to take action. But if they just ask how do now, tell me, I need money now, like
Right. I've seen
so,
those too and it's so unfortunate but like it's education people who are willing to invest in education, you can tell them from a mile away. You can see a person
Yeah.
with discipline from a mile away. And so for me, like that is really where I try to spend my 80%. I can observe by things like what you mentioned, if the person is disciplined or not. If they're not disciplined before they start a business, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And it's going to provide a lot of support, or they're going to require a lot of support. And um, sometimes they'll build the discipline habits, but they really have to have a mind change. They have to have change of willpower. It's a whole lot of transitions that have to take place. And
Yeah. That's
they have to show more self responsibility for that. For me, if they're not reciprocating with commitment, then I'm just gonna cut it off.
yeah.
So,
That's true. I understand. Yeah.
well, I know that we have talked a lot on this interview, and we've talked about mindset and empathy and all kinds of different things that I know have helped you to really grow your business and have helped me a lot. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing these things with us so much, because I think this is really peculiar conversation in our space.
Yeah.
It's not the things that we normally hear affiliate marketers or entrepreneurs talk about. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate you having this conversation with me and sharing with people so that they can see what does it take. What does it take?
Yeah.
So
Thank you very much for the opportunity to come.
yeah. And I want to make sure that they understand how expert you are. So, like, you're not just the person that just started this business and is just earning a couple $100s. Like, the habits that you talked about and the mindset that you talked about has gotten you to earn more than $1,000 in a day. And you've
Yeah.
had some great milestones. So, and you have a huge YouTube channel. You've built a website to have more than 40,000 visitors per month. Um, that you've got some great achievements that you've had. And so I'm
Yeah.
hoping that all of those people who watched this video, you really take these habits seriously, because um, starting a business, it's not easy. A lot of people will tell you that it's easy, but there are disciplines that it takes to build a business. There's perseverance, there's qualities like diligence and strong character and empathy that really take some time to build. And underneath Facebook strategies or Twitter strategies or anything like that, usually behind that, anyone who's really successful with those things has some other characteristics behind it.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I hope that this interview helped you to see that. And if you enjoyed this interview, please leave a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, where I do product and service reviews, as well as growth strategies and interviews to help you start a business from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise, then definitely subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so you can be notified of upcoming videos. Now, before I close, I want to make sure that everyone knows where to find out more about you if they want to watch some of those 600 videos or blog posts and all of the content you've been putting out. Where do they find all of the information about you?
So at the moment, the best way is to go to YouTube and go to Learn to Make Honest Money Online on my YouTube channel. Then I'm publishing now one video every single day. And then
Wow.
also going to my website, youronlinerevenue.com, and signing up to my email list, because I post to my email list almost every day also. So those are the best
Wow.
places to follow my.
Jeez Louise, every day sending out an email. That's discipline. And what about, I know you've been on TikTok, like doing some amazing stuff. So can you
Yeah, but
tell us your
TikTok is for
TikTok
silly.
handle?
TikTok is for silly content. I publish there like every day also, but it's for fun and for humorous, and
Well,
it's
that's
more
a good
like getting
thing.
people to you. It's getting people to YouTube and on other places where there are, like, let's say, more serious things. But if you want to see silly side of Roope, then go to TikTok and search for Learn to Make Honest Money Online.
Well, we could all use a laugh from time to time. So
Yeah.
if I guess we have to dig for it. Roop isn't trying to tell us. So if you are watching this video, then I would suggest you maybe type it in the search bar and see what you can find. See if you can find those silly videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
So well, that's all I have for this video, and I really hope to see you in the next one. So have a great day. Bye.
Yes. Bye bye. All right.